Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Cardiff, the capital city of Wales, where in the centre sits this magnificent 11th century castle. Now back then, bows would have been used to fire arrows, but this weekend 8 strong men will use arrows of their own, not to defend a castle, but to land a cheque and a trophy.
Raymond van Barneveld.
Barn.
Mensa Sullivan.
The Gentle.
Dave Chisnell.
Chisnell.
Adrian Lewis.
Jack.
Bill Taylor.
Big Power.
Peter Ross.
Snakebite.
Gary Anderson.
Flying Scotland.
Michael van Gogh.
Mighty Fire.
The 8 players are split into 2 groups. It's a round-robin format in Group A. Last year's beaten finalist Michael van Gerwen takes on Phil Taylor, the winner here in Cardiff 12 months ago. Adrian Lewis was knocked out in the group stages, and Raymond van Barneveld, 5-time world champion, complete Group A. In Group B, Gary Anderson was beaten in the semi-finals by Michael van Gerwen last year. Peter Wright crashed out in the group stages. Dave Chisnell makes his Champions League debut. And completing Group B, Mensa Suljevic. Well, let's hear from one of our commentators, Dan Dawson. He's back with us again this year. He's on the arena floor.
Well, we're here in the walk-on area where the players will be making their entrance to this year's Champions League of Darts, and former Players Champion Paul Nicholson alongside me be commentating this weekend as well. Paul, top 8 in the world, we have got quality here this weekend, but of the 2 groups, is one of them a little bit trickier looking than the other?
Yeah, Group A is very, very top-heavy in my opinion. You've got multiple world champions in Van Gerwen, in Taylor and Van Barneveld.
And Lewis.
And Lewis as well. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, the crowd are going to get some incredible action, but there are lots of different things going on within these guys' careers and lives right now that make us question who's going to win each game. That's what makes it so interesting.
It is interesting. Now, there's one particularly interesting clash that it's not this afternoon, it could be tomorrow, it could be this evening. Michael van Gerwen, world number 1, against Phil Taylor, defending champion. Taylor wiped the floor with him at the World Match Play in Blackpool this summer.
He did indeed. He sent a real statement to Michael van Gerwen, and when he took a break through August, not doing World Series darts, he had time to think about what he wanted to do on his comeback. Now, we can get away with talking about them all weekend, but we're not going to do that because there are people who are potentially skirting under the radar.
There are, and we've got 3 debutants here this year. Dave Chisnell and Raymond van Barneveld, first time they played in this tournament, but also Mensa Suljevic, up to world number 7. He could be very dangerous, despite perhaps not having the pedigree of those other guys.
He's got pedigree in his own world and in our hearts, but Mensa Suljevic, in my opinion, has absolutely nothing to lose here. He can come in here and just produce Mensa Mania if he wants. He can do his own thing. He's never played in this arena, but the other guys have, so the pressure's on them.
It will be the top 8 in the world, the Champions League of Darts. Let's get it on.
Yeah, Dan's absolutely right. We're going to have a cracking weekend here in Cardiff. First up for us this afternoon here on BBC One, it is Peter Wright. 9 tournament wins in 2017, taking on Dave Chisnell. Then we've got Gary Anderson taking on Mensa Suljevic, and then it's Phil Taylor v Adrian Lewis. And our final match this afternoon, Michael van Gerwen v Raymond van Barneveld. So let's look ahead then to our first match. It is Peter Lewis. He's had outstanding 2017. He's been talking to Dan about this year and about this year's Champions League.
Peter, welcome back to the Champions League. You did compete here, of course, last year. What does this tournament mean to you?
Well, obviously it's great to be on BBC One and just all the people who can't afford the more expensive stuff. it's great for them to tune in to see their favourite dart players like myself, and obviously Phil Taylor still, and see him for the last time on TV. That's great for them.
You do come into this tournament as a champion for the first time, winning the UK Open, a big TV tournament. Does that make it different this year, do you think?
Yeah, but, well, obviously I've gone on won other tournaments, more tournaments than I normally do as well, so it's given me a better belief in myself, and that I can't beat anyone in the world. And yeah, so I believe I can go and win this. But, dart's got to click, and that's it.
If you did go and win here this weekend, it'd be 10 titles in the year and counting, and that's a very elite club to be part of, isn't it?
Yes, obviously that is my target, to get to 10 and then more. So obviously, I'm going to try and get as many as possible.
Well, Dave Chisnall, first up, great opportunity to show everybody that you are back in your top form.
Yeah, it's great to have a round robin type thing as well. Having many games on the TV is great, not just straight knockout. And then potentially, obviously, I might play Gary on the Saturday night if he wins his game and I win mine, which is good. And then obviously the Sunday, just battle off to see who finishes first or second.
Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wes.
So we're all looking forward to this afternoon. A very good afternoon then to Paul and to Mark Webster. Good to see you again, chaps. We had great fun last year. We're looking forward to it again this year. Mark, great to see you. What's this down to then, Peter's fantastic season?
Yeah, he's just very, very dedicated, Peter. He's very headstrong as well. I think we touched on it previously. He doesn't mind changing his darts. You've got to be strong-minded to do that. He's searching for perfection, and he'll be looking to make a statement in this opening game against Dave.
There was an interesting line there, wasn't there? He said, 10 or more, yes, I can do it. Can he do it in Cardiff?
He can do anything he wants to do. He is so headstrong, like Mark said, and the practice that he puts in, it almost puts him in that top echelon of the hardest working darts player of all time. He has gone into obscurity with his career, but he's come back a different person. When he's snakebite on that stage, he can do whatever he wants if he's in the right mood.
And do you think he'll be fired up by his performance last year, because he got off to a decent start and obviously didn't make the semi-finals?
If he hasn't won something, he wants to come and do better. Earlier in the season, he was the best player on the planet. He was better than Van Gerwen for probably a few weeks there. Van Gerwen's back now, and now he wants to better Van Gerwen again. He started to beat him a little bit earlier in the European Tour back in March and April, but now he wants to do it on the bigger stage.
What about Dave Chisnall making his Champions League debut, Mark?
Yeah, very capable, Dave. I mean, the last tournament he played in was a Players' Championship in August, which he won. So obviously it's a long break since then, but he'll come here confident. He'll want to carry on winning, and he'll want to make an impact in this competition, being a debutant. And I think he'll have a big say in this group.
Yeah, Dave is back in the top 8 as well. How big a challenge for Peter Wright?
Huge challenge, because Dave is rested. He's had a break over the summer. He started playing again last week, but now Dave's ready to go back to action. I think Peter's got a very tough game here. All
right, let's hear then from Chizzy. Let's find out what his darting preferences are.
Either or, what's the score?
Dave Chisnall, Chizzy.
Double top or double 16?
It's got to be double top, straight down the middle.
Double 1 or double 3?
Tricky one. Double 1.
Dave Chisnall, you require 92. Treble 20 or ball?
Bullseye.
2 darts in hand. Treble double or double double?
Double double.
Legs or sets?
Sets.
Best of 11 or best of 21?
Best of 21.
Circus Tavern or Lakeside?
Lakeside.
Alexandra Palace or Winter Gardens?
Winter Gardens.
Premier League or World Series?
Premier League.
Eric Bristow or Jockey Wilson?
Eric Bristow.
Bobby George or Wayne Mardle?
Wayne Mardle.
Stand up if you love the dance, or the very best of order?
Stand up if you love the darts.
World champion or world #1?
Both.
Check or trophy?
Check.
Let's face it, will any player go for trophy of a check? It remains to find out. Right, okay, terrific atmosphere here in Cardiff. They are looking forward to a brilliant weekend of darts. Let's say a very good afternoon to our MC, Mr. John McDonald.